What's up everybody, MTmotoRIDER here. So I want to tell you guys a story about how I went down. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, I believe it's been now, after 10 plus years of riding, I finally went down. Yep, I finally went down, and it sucked. Now granted, I was only going like 15 or 20 mile an hour. Luckily I didn't get hurt too awful bad. The way I went down is why I'm telling the story. It's ridiculous, and it literally was a freak accident. So in my commuting video, I explained how I usually, take my cooler with food and stuff or whatever to work and strap it to my bike with a cargo net. And I have done this many, many times with no issues whatsoever. No problems at all. So I got my cooler strapped down, got all my gear on. I get on my bike, start up the road where we park. And I don't know if it's where I got on it, because I always like to get on the throttle when I take off because this bike is awesome and it sounds good. I don't know if it's because I got on it or what. The cooler that I had strapped to the bike actually fell off the back of the bike. And then the way I had it tied down, it kind of swung it up under the tail, and then the cooler itself got stuck between the rear tire and the little rear fender, and it completely locked the bike up. The bike cut off, and I freaking hit the ground, and it sucked. I mean, I was going down through there, and all of a sudden the bike cuts off, and I start fishtailing and shit. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? I had no idea what was going on. So after I go down, I stand up, trying to gather myself, and notice that my cooler is in my freaking rear wheel. I actually have another bag connected to that bag, and that bag was caught in the chain. It was all freaking ridiculous. And it did go far enough to chew a hole through the cooler and through the little plastic insert that was in the cooler. It was just a crazy freak accident. Never thought something like that would happen. I thought something was wrong with the motorcycle until I stood up and seen what caused me to go down. It was ridiculous. Unfortunately, that day that I had my accident at work, I was not recording. I didn't even have my camera with me, so that was actually kind of a sucky part too, that I did not get any of it on film. But as far as the bike, it scratched up my front brake lever. I had to have a new grip on the throttle side, a new throttle tube. It scratched the headlight cover piece, broke a turn signal off. It scratched up one of the side covers on the bike where the MT09 logo is. And it also chewed almost all the way through one of my sliders, which I'm really glad I had the sliders, or the entire side of my bike would have looked just like that slider. If you don't have sliders on your bike, get some. Please get some. They're relatively inexpensive depending on what kind you get, and instead of replacing hundreds of dollars worth of plastics or whatever, or engine covers, you'll be replacing like a $60 to $100 slider. It also scratched up this mirror right here a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. It also broke my original windscreen that I had on the bike, but I picked this one up off of eBay for pretty cheap, and it does what it's supposed to do. I mean, I actually think it deflects more air than the other one did. But unless you got a giant windshield, it's not going to do a whole lot. And as far as my sliders, I did replace those, but I ended up going with the T-Rex sliders. They're a lot more beefier, and I'll probably do a review on those at some point. But if you want to check those out, just look up T-Rex frame sliders or Google it or whatever you want to do. But But anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that story about how I went down. It's the first time I've been down in 10 years of riding, and it sucked. It was a small accident, but it still hurt. My chest is still a little sore to this day, 3 weeks later, but it's getting a lot better. And I was lucky. I mean, I could have been going 75 miles an hour down the highway or something and the same thing happened. So I was actually really lucky that it happened where it did. I mean, I hadn't even got out of the work parking lot yet when it happened. So guys, wear your gear. I had all my gear on. The pair of gloves that I was wearing at the time of the wreck, the plastic piece that covers the knuckle inside the glove actually broke when my hand hit the ground. So I probably more than likely would have broken my hand if I did not have my gloves on. So I mean, if that tells you anything, always wear your gear. It's worth being hot or whatever to wear gear. Like I always say, I'd rather sweat than bleed. And luckily I had all my gear on that day, and I didn't really have any scratches at all. I somehow hit my chest on the bars or the tank or something on this bike when I went down. I don't remember exactly what happened because it all happened so fast, but just wear your gear. If you don't do anything else, wear gear. If any of you guys have ever went down riding, let me know down in the comments. It's a really shitty thing. I hope it doesn't happen to anyone, but it does happen. So just wear your gear. I can't say it too many times. There's no way that you can say that too many times. Wear your gear. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.